Welcome to the She Suite Society, your exclusive pass to sit down and listen to authentic conversation. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from a dear friend of mine, Angie Alexander. She has been with Mettler Toledo for 13 years as a recruiting and retention leader. She's an HR manager and now head of talent acquisitions. In her role as head of talent acquisitions for North America, she oversees all the U.S. and Canada recruiting programs and has implemented strategic recruitment plans and supporting initiatives to strengthen the overall talent acquisition process and improve the quality of hiring across all units. She is just a powerhouse of a human. And on top of that, she's been married to her husband, Nick, for 17 years. She's got 2 children, Clara, 13, Ethan, 10. Both kids are actively involved in extracurricular activities, so she is always literally on the go. In her spare time, you'll find her on a soccer field, watching her kids play, doing cross country. She coached track for a while. She is just everywhere. And on top of that, she maintains some strong and profound friendships that is just so exciting to learn from. So today you have the pleasure of hearing from Angie, listening to her life and seeing how she came to be and how she holds it all together. Please sit back and relax to She Suite Society. So what is it that you do for work?
So currently I'm head of talent acquisition for a global company where our North American headquarters is based here in Columbus. I have all talent acquisition responsibility for the U.S. Currently in the process of centralizing it. Prior to now-ish, each unit that we have across the U.S. was reporting into HR, and now it's all going to be reporting into me. And this will mirror the structure that we have in Poland, Malaysia, and China. So we're slowly doing this. And as with most other things at Mettler Toledo, the United States is the last one to implement something that everybody else is doing. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah, but that's a lot. That's a lot to come to you because the rest of your life, tell us about the rest of your life.
My personal life?
Yeah, who's in it?
I'm married. I've been married for 17 years. I have 2 kids, Clara, who's 13, Ethan is 10. We're always running around with these kids and their sports. It's currently basketball season for Clara. And she's also, she got a part in the school play. So she's going to play practice 3 days a week. Ethan is in soccer all year round. Currently, he and my husband are in Orlando at a soccer tournament.
Oh, wow.
So it's not as warm there as it should be. So I'm not that envious.
Oh, it's not? How cold?
No, it's only like yesterday was 45 and rainy.
Oh, wow. That's a lot colder than usual.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's abnormal for this time of year. So yeah, if you ever want to find me, I'll be on a soccer field because my daughter also does soccer, but it's usually in spring and fall. We also have a new puppy. The new puppy keeps us on our toes. His name is Tucker, and he's about 8 months old.
Oh, I love that.
So that's our chaotic life.
And that's where you are right now. So with all of that in mind, what does your day-to-day look like? What do you do? And I'm sure it's not all the same, but like an average day in the life of Angie, what does that look like?
A day in the life. So I wake up in the morning and get ready for the day. I work hybrid. So sometimes I work from home, so I don't take quite as long to beautify myself since I'm just from here up on camera. But once I get ready, I take the dog out and then I start just hanging out with the kids in the morning, make sure they have their breakfast, their lunch is packed, etc. Then I start my day around between 7:30 and 8 for work, whether it be driving into the office or coming up to my home office. And I usually work pretty straight through. When I'm
no breaks?
Well, when I'm in a good mode, I will take a lunch break and work out, especially on the days that I'm remote. And I do have some coworkers that don't mind taking walking breaks. So we do that at work as well. Then once the workday's over, I come home and I take a kid to something. We may or may not have time for dinner before that. It might be after that. But there are a few days a week where my husband and I are able to divide and conquer, and I'm still able to do, fun things like our dinners. I have another couple of friends that we get to try to get together regularly as well, and I'm usually able to do that.
Nice.
Um, and yeah, on the weekends, we're usually at a soccer game or a basketball game.
So, what were you like as a kid?
Oh my gosh, I was not. I feel like I'm catching up to life as an adult. I feel like I was very sheltered. I wasn't very well rounded or well traveled. I grew up in a village. We were
An actual
middle,
village?
a village of Grafton, very blue collar. My dad was the only one who worked, and he worked in a factory. And we were middle class at best, kind of one of those families that put things on layaway. And for school, we got, a budget. We could spend $100 on school clothes, and that was it.
Can you imagine $100 today on school
No,
clothes?
you couldn't. You'd have to go to thrift stores or secondhand stores.
Right.
And when I fast forward to high school, when I mentioned going to college, my dad's response was, "You're going to college." Like, it was never talked about. It wasn't unsupported, but it wasn't supported. So I was the first one in my family to go to college. And
And how big is your family?
well, I have had 3 brothers. I have 2 brothers and a half sister. And they all, like my 2 brothers, work either in restaurants or various factories or distribution centers. And my sister is actually a state tested nurse's aide. So
Oh,
she
wow.
did certification work, but didn't go to college.
So, why did you want to go to college? What made you
Well,
different?
in high school, I had a boyfriend whose family was very well educated. His mom was a nurse practitioner, and his dad was a pharmacist. So education in their family was a big deal. And I just kind of learned from them, like, if I want a life like they have versus how I grew up, then I need to work for it. So just kind of following in their footsteps of, like, you go to high school, you pick your college, you go to college, and you get a job. So I'm happy to have met that family. I don't keep in touch with them to this day, but they're who kind of taught me, like, what I should do to get the life or take myself in the direction that I took. So
You think if you hadn't met them, you would have gone this route?
it's hard to say, because the people that I was closest with, as far as friends, very few left Grafton, and very few went to college, to be honest. So I don't know if I would or not, just because you kind of do what your surroundings are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You do exactly what you're surrounded with or what you're surrounded by. And we grew up in a time where there wasn't social media, there weren't
Mhm.
smartphones, there wasn't access to expanding what real life looks like. I wonder, with the expansion of it all now, we'd have to just guess, really. What do our kids see? And what are the possibilities now? If knowing that family impacted you in such a profound way that now you are living a very different lifestyle from how you grew up and your surroundings that were there, what could the impacts of this be for our next generation?
Well, I can tell you for my family, my kids already, like, they're talking about where they're going to college. Like, it's really kind
Wow.
of in their DNA. I will never force my kids to go to college, especially if they, find strength in a trade or, something like that. Or if they somehow find themselves to be independently wealthy, good for them.
Can I live with
But
them?
yeah, they'll be taking care of me. But it's just kind of like what you're supposed to do. And I think it's ingrained in them because of that's how we're raising them.
Got it.
Um, And they've seen, they obviously see where I grew up, and things aren't as sparse as they were. Like my dad's better off financially as he got older and, changed careers and things. But they know what you have, like, they know what it takes to be successful. And like I said, it doesn't have to be college, but just because we did, that's kind of like what they are expecting that they'll do. And thankfully, I have two scholars on my hands. So
Yeah,
I
you
don't
do.
think they're going to be like, we hate learning. We don't want to go.
They're super smart. You don't have to worry about the knowledge. The exposure to everything is just really cool. I mean, just what you can see out there now, it's just crazy. Uh,
Hmm.
were there any other life-changing events that you had that changed the direction or course of your life?
Wow. I wouldn't say it changed the course of my life, but I never really had a good relationship with my mom. I still don't to this day. We they
See,
we
tell everybody that's okay not to have a good relationship with your mom.
It really, I mean, it is, but what it taught me is how to have a good relationship with my daughter. And my son, to be honest with you, because my mom doesn't really have close relationships with any of us kids. Um,
She never did.
not not really. No. Like when we were little, my parents got a divorce before I was 1, and my mom chose to leave us with my dad, which is not normal. Like usually the dad gets or the mom gets custody. But I also recall them going through all kinds of custody battles, and my dad always won. Because she was young. My dad was 20 when my brother was born, and I think she was 16. She was 16 and 18 when my brother and I were born. Um, she
That's
just,
young. Ooh,
but
that's
there were
young.
times over my childhood where she wanted to be a mom and she wanted to be motherly and wanted to be close, and we were, and then we weren't. Um, yeah, I decided to move back in with my dad as a teenager, and her and my stepdad told me that they had to sell their boat because they weren't getting child support anymore because I moved out. So that's just kind of an example of how warm and fuzzy I did not feel with my
Right,
mom and stepdad. And it
right.
followed me through adulthood. I mean, just this past weekend, we had Clara's 13th birthday party, and my mom didn't tell me if she was coming or not. And she didn't come and called us later and said, sorry, we didn't come, that my stepdad was sick. And I'm like, would have been nice for you to let me know that. I mean, so long story short, I just, I don't know. I maybe overdo it with Clara, but we were very close. She tells me, I think everything. She still likes me, even though she's 13. So I really, really did learn how to, make my kids feel important and loved and nurtured and supported. Because I didn't really feel, even with my dad, I don't know. I just didn't really ever have that as a kid. It wasn't so super loving, like
Yeah, and
my
you're
family
very,
is.
very warm and fuzzy loving.
I was
You
like,
are.
maybe over the top, but
I mean, so much so you ended up in the HR world of things. Like you
yeah,
went way out on that. It's amazing sometimes when sometimes it's I never understand that with people, right? I did all the studying in psychology, but what I never can wrap my brain around is what's the differentiator between the people that grew up seeing things or feeling things were wrong and then wanted to live a life outside of that, and then others that embrace the wrongness and just continue with that
yeah,
cycle. I have no idea what makes the difference, but I find that seems to be the commonality I end up with, like making friends with these people, the people that go against the grain to make, in my opinion, the world better. Because I just, I just can't with these people that won't break these stupid generational curses. Like just because you were raised a certain way doesn't mean you have to pay that forward or that they have to pay a price that you also paid. Um,
right.
that's, I think, where people get it all wrong. But not our generation. No. Wonder why. I wonder what makes that different.
I don't know.
Do you find yourself surrounded by people like that too? Just naturally repel people that follow the same I was raised being either emotionally neglected or abused. And so now I spank my children or do stuff like that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
you naturally repel against people like that.
exactly. Yeah. If I like do a quick scan of like the people I spend the most time with, they are more like, some of them weren't brought up the way I was, but they, you know, yes, we got yelled at a lot as kids, like voices raised all the time. And we don't do that. Lots of our friends, like everyone's just kind of like chill, like in how they raise their kids. Yelling, I feel like doesn't get you anywhere. It only like, I don't know, makes them start yelling when they get older, maybe.
Imagine
But
you being yelled at. Are you going to listen to it? I'm just going to get angry.
you shut down. Yeah,
Gonna
you
walk
shut down.
away. Imagine, just imagine. We don't. We lived it. We don't have to imagine.
Yeah, and I just feel uncomfortable around that. I hear how other, random people are with their kids, and I'm just like, ugh, I don't. Um, I feel sorry for the kids more than anything, but yeah, definitely repelled by that. Um,
So, do you feel fulfilled at the end of your day?
Depends on the day, to be honest with you. For a while, I felt like I took a wrong turn in my career. And I've been in this role for 2 years. It probably took me 18 months to be like, okay, this isn't so bad. So, for about a year and a half, I was not the happiest, with my career. But I just decided to embrace it. My boss that I reported to the whole time left the company, which is crazy because she's an executive level HR person. And I now report to a global TA person. But just that change in and of itself made a difference. I feel like I felt like there was some sort of discomfort with that reporting relationship. So that has changed things. And just like, hey, I took this role. I should be making the best of it instead of wallowing in self pity that I might have made a mistake. And just attitude change helped too. But generally speaking, at the end of a day, unless it's a crappy day that I have to terminate somebody, I do feel pretty fulfilled.
Well, how do you pull yourself up? How do you just remain even keeled and pull yourself up? Like you just said, you have attitude changes. What snaps you out of that? Because it's, I think, really hard for a lot of people. They get stuck in this
Hmm.
hollow that they literally identify themselves as like victims of their situation. And it's hard to see that you can take control of it. What do you do? How do you get out of that?
It's funny. I gave somebody advice after our manager resigned. I was like, just focus on the things that you can control. Right. We're going to backfill that person. So the advice I gave was really enjoy the calm before the storm and stay. And it might not be a bad storm at the end of the day, and stay positive. Her leaving might have affected certain people in a way that she was a mentor or a go-to person for help on things. But there could have also been a couple things that we could have done better that we couldn't do because she was in that role. So now let's think about maybe, everything happens for a reason. So let's just stay positive. And the things that maybe we wished were different, maybe will turn to be different when we get somebody else in that role.
Yeah.
Um, and saying that to somebody she was like, I need to come talk to you more often. And I'm like, there's nothing we can do about it. We can't beg her to stay. We
Yeah.
can't, we can't do anything. So
I
got to
feel
make the best of
you
it.
you accept reality a lot quicker than a lot of people. I can say that, having known you for quite a few years, you're very quick to understand what is literally in front of you as opposed to living in Delulu land. And I feel like because you're able to pick up on it so quickly, you're able to sort of work through whatever feelings might have been there and just move past it. You're very quick to just not necessarily throw your hands up, but to be like, well, I don't have control over this. So
Mhm.
let's move on. I don't think that's something most people are born with, Angie. I really don't.
Well, I have one, water cooler conversation about it and I move on. meanwhile, everybody else is, jabbing about it for days, but I'm just like, what else are we talking about? The same thing over and over. There's really nothing. Just got to wait and see what happens. And you
I
can
feel
control what you can control, and that's it.
that's so true. I feel that, and this is just because in the studies I've read, I feel that people that exercise a lot are usually people that are able to move through those things because it's literal, like moving your body moves emotions literally through your body, gets it out and moves on through the day. And I know you work out like a mofo. I've been
I
I've
haven't
been
been lately, but
It's the activity you do every day. Even in the walking, it doesn't matter what the activity is. It's that there is an activity.
Mhm.
I'm a big proponent on that because, um, quite frankly, I think that's the biggest piece of mental health a lot of people are missing is that physical motion. I think that could play a part in it. Do you think that would help? Do you think that's part of what helps you?
I feel better as a person when I have a good workout regimen going and a good eating regimen going. Like when I'm like feel good, I feel like I look good. Mentally, that helps a lot. And if I don't feel those things, or if I feel like I get in a slump, that it does affect me mentally.
Yeah.
So I also need to stay um aware of that, just to be self-aware, to like, you haven't worked out all week, no wonder why you're feeling like crap and you're not focusing at work, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I truly think it helps me to be active.
Me too. Who or what is your support system?
Well, I have the three of you.
We don't
I,
lie to
I
each other.
I have a lot of friends, but my husband is a huge supporter. When we get to download on our days, sometimes it's not every day. He dumps his stuff, I dump my stuff, and um, yeah, it's nice to be able to still have that after 17 years of marriage. Um,
You guys are best friends.
mhm,
Guys like truly are the epitome of best friends. It's really cool because that is
yeah,
really hard to maintain.
it really is. I mean, it's not without work. We have to work on that too. It doesn't just come easy. And we haven't, it's not like we've never had our issues, but um, I also lean on coworkers as well, the ones that I've developed good relationships with over the years. My work bestie is a 73-year-old Black woman named Becky Fourqueen. And that woman knows everything about my life, my work, and I hers. Um, I don't know what I would ever do without her. And she keeps staying with the company. And I'm like, you stay. I'm like, because I need you.
Oh, that's too funny. Well, you got any advice you could give to people? Any ladies that are listening to this, that will end up listening to this, the whole point of this podcast is to give people space to know they're not alone, space to know that we've all lived 1,000,005 lives and nobody's path ever looks the same as somebody else's. You might end up in the same role or same level, but how you got there is very different and it can't be expected to stay the same. And you just never know the battles people are dealing with behind closed doors. So I'm just wondering, part of this podcast was to give people a little bit of hope and sense of community. Is there
Hmm.
any advice you can give? Because you're really good at it. If I didn't meet you, if you didn't put yourself out there to come to my One Hope wine party that I randomly threw, and then we decided to be crazy and run at 5 o'clock in the morning every day, it wouldn't have happened. And it was because you put yourself out there and like found that. And then even friendship takes effort. You still have to work at that. Even when I left all y'all because of my divorce, you guys didn't let me leave. I was in your circle and it meant the world to me. And it's just, again, you guys putting yourself out, people putting themselves out there to create that sense of community and oneness. How do you do it? So it feels effortless on this.
It's, it's funny because I used to be an extrovert, and now I'm very much introverted. So I don't know if the Angie of today would have done all that back then. Maybe. I don't know.
So when did it
Um,
shift for you? When did you
I
go from
don't know.
extrovert to introvert?
I honestly, I truly don't know. I almost feel like it happened in my job change. So it wasn't a COVID thing. I think it was I was in front of so many people all the time in HR, managing people's problems all the time and guiding leaders to make strategic business decisions. Like there was more interaction with business, and this one's less so and feels more tactical in a way. So I think it might have been that. So I'm doing what I can to, in your words, put myself out there. Like I still try to go walk the floor at work and say hi to people so I can stay connected and do more like in-person interaction or Teams interaction like this, as opposed to not. So more intentional outreach with people. But advice that I would give, and we didn't touch on like a work-life balance, but
because I don't believe in it. I think it's all life. Work
yeah.
is part of it. But you're right. Go ahead.
No, what I mean, like I have a friend who is at work who she thinks it's great whenever anyone realizes or notices that she was at work until 7 o'clock at night, or she'll make a comment that she saw the janitors come in to start cleaning. And you know what? She has 2 kids at home. And I'm like, what are you like? Why is that good for you? It's not good for you. Work will be here every day. I mean, as long as you're doing what you need to do to get your stuff done, leave it at work, go home and enjoy home because, I mean, I won't not spend time with my kids. Like I won't miss their soccer tournaments. Well, unless they're in Orlando and, blah, blah, blah. But
rainy.
if I have to leave work at 3:30 because of something for my kids or even myself, like say I have a doctor's appointment, like I do those things and I do it without guilt. As long as you're your best person when you're at work, I think it's perfectly fine to leave it there and then go be your best person when you're in life or at home.
Oh, I love
and that's the best advice I can always give is like, don't work yourself into the ground because then you're going to miss out on things. You're going to have regrets later in life. And it's just not good. Like overall. And there are some people maybe that would disagree with that because maybe they don't have as much of a home life, but
I think that you're on to something. I think that's where all these movements that we're seeing happen, especially within the US in terms of self-care, that is all considered self-care. And the fact that when COVID did hit, and especially now in this AI technology revolution boom, people are getting laid off left and right. They might have done this work till 7, 8 o'clock, prided themselves on that, and then they get the pink slip when they come in for no good reason.
right.
So there's a lot of people that are recognizing that loyalty to a company does not equal jobs safety or security.
No, it doesn't.
But you can always guarantee that you will still always be mom to those kids. Yep. You will be wife to your husband. You'll be friends to everybody that you're friends with. That's the stuff you can guarantee.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. You've been listening to the She Suite Society. Remember, your seat at the table is waiting. Join us next time.